Now that we have all of the data here within our Power BI environment, see other videos in these steps that we're going through how to customize Power BI. Now let's go ahead and add some more custom DAX. So stay tuned. We're going to actually look at how to add totals from gross profit, a different column, and then we're going to do based on risk level, and then we're going to see how we set a filter for a sum of the gross product. So in other words, when we hit stable, we want to make sure that we get a sum 9836 of those all within stable. So let's go ahead and jump right to it. So stay tuned. So here we have just a couple, and we've been going through this video so you can kind of see the different things that we've been doing. We're going to focus on these 5 right here down at the bottom. This one happens to be the gross. So let's go ahead and remember to do a new measure, do a right click on your data source, hit new measure. But here we're going to click, and remember our measures look like little calculators. We're going to click on this bad boy and let's look at that formula. So gross profit risk equals the sum of the data of gross profit within the data. And remember that +0 at the end so that we don't get that undefined message on our screen. So this is the sum of all of this. So this right here is this sum right here, 326.44. You can see that right there. Okay, so that's all that is. Now, what's nice about this is when you drill down on this, notice here it's starting to change. It changes its sum because now it's inside this filtered environment. We're only seeing high, right? And you can see total 128.39, 128.39. And then we're going to look at these in a minute, but notice these are all set at 0 because the only one we're looking at right now is high. Let's do another test here. So we can click on high here. We could do it either place, the drop down, right, or the selection, and they all work the same. So the key here is this is a gross profit risk, but because this is set to all gross profit, and you can see there 326, and if you add up these 4 right here, they'll equal 326.44. But it allows us to drill down and see that information dynamically. Although, let's say, for example, you're trying to do other calculations based on these numbers. So when you hit high, for example, you need to do a calculation of what this total is, and you need to maybe divide that by another total that you have within that you're going to create. So how do we do that? You're going to see the next series video is actually going to be showing you how to do that division. But here, I can't have that number based on this field right here because it's fluid, right? It changes whenever I click. So I have to create these. And these, let's just go ahead and look at one of them here real quick. So expected sum, there you go. So take a look at that formula there. So the expected end sum, and remember, pause the video if you need to copy this down. But here we're using a calculate. And what we're going to do is we're going to calculate the sum of gross profit. So you can see that, the data and the gross profit sum. And then, but we're only going to do it for a filter that we've defined. Remember, the data source is called data, and the things in the square brackets are the fields. So risk level is the field. So we want to see everything in the risk level that is expected end. So remember, that's how we did all of our other filters as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at another filter here real quick. And this is high-end count. Notice we're using a very similar filter in the CountX code DAX that we're using there. So CountX, and then we use the filter. We call the data source, then we call the field is equal to that text. And that's as simple as it is. Once you get done with that, now you can go ahead and use these sums, okay? This high-end sum, for example, or pending sum. We can use all of these. It's searching through, looking for risk level, it's equal to this, and then calculating this. This is similar in a spreadsheet to a if-then statement. So let me show you, let me see if I got one of those. I just did a quick copy and paste from a spreadsheet that I have, but you can see here kind of that equation as well. This would be a sum if in an Excel spreadsheet. Sum if and then the range equals to high, then go to this other. Notice this is F18, this is H18. So H18, F18 is where the text high is, and then we want to only grab those fields in that same range, but the H range, which is the gross profit area of that spreadsheet. So this is kind of how we do it inside of Power BI, and then this is how we do it within Excel. So a little bit different between the two products, but that is basically how you capture and get these totals. Now remember, these totals can be used in a ton of different things. Now we're going to actually use them in some division activities and percentages here. So stay tuned to the next episode and we'll jump right to that.